Welcome back to Beyond the Buzzer. Today's guest is the embodiment of what it means to be on this show. At 29 years old, he's in the peak of his career, and he also just captained his team at the World Cup. He's also a multi-business owner and a passionate singer. But before we tell you who he is, Sam, tell them what they got to do.
Follow us on Beyond the Buzzer, Pod 13, Instagram, YouTube, and all podcast applications. Now, my boy, my man, Wael Arakji. Let's get it, baby. Let's get right into it, baby. First thing I want to ask you, you had to play under the shadow of the legend Fadi Al-Khatib for so many years. How did that feel for you to finally break through that barrier and now you are the face?
Honestly, I never cared. People were saying that, but for me, it was never an obstacle for me. I just had to be me, just had to enjoy my game, and I never looked at it in a way where I'm under the shadow of Fadi, because we're two different people. We play in two different positions. We're two different bodies, so our games are very different. We're not really similar in our games. So I just embraced it, embraced the competition, and took Fadi as an idol, took Fadi's winning mentality and Fadi's mentality as a push for me. He taught me a lot of things, and he was like an older brother for me. So it was never a shadow, more than something that helped me get better, something that motivated me. So that's it.
Well, the reason I'm asking this question, Fadi is a close friend of mine. We still in touch till today. But I know how hard it is to play with him. I know how much he demands. I know the attention that he demands as well. So that was the reason I wanted to ask you, just because a lot of people struggle to understand Fadi and to play with Fadi. So this is why I wanted to ask you, and I was very proud of you, how you were able to, after the shadow, take over that role and lead the country to so many titles, from Riyadi Club to Asia Championship final game where you won the MVP, and now in the World Cup. I mean, you've done a phenomenal job.
Honestly, Sam, I didn't really play with Fadi for a long time. When Fadi came to Riyadh, I was very young and my role was very limited. So I think you need to ask Ronnie and Ali Mahmoud this question, how it was to play with Fadi. For me, I was just this energy guy coming in, running like an 18 years old, just trying to do some cool stuff on court for fans to cheer my name. So I don't really get to feel the demands of Fadi on court more than just enjoying my time with him, Sum'a, and these big names on court. Probably I could tell you we played one time together with the national team in FIBA Asia in Lebanon when you were coaching Jordan back then. And it was never hard for me to probably, I wouldn't say very hard. It was a bit hard because I'm a scoring point guard and he's a scoring machine. So the ball was taken from me for a long time, probably sometimes, but I was okay with that. I understood that it's an honor. I took it like it's an honor for me to play with Fadi. This is what I'm gonna have to sacrifice at some point. I have to enjoy and learn from his game, and this is what I did. Unfortunately, we couldn't win anything back in FIBA Asia. But I learned a lot from his leadership, and thank God I was able to show this leadership lately with my national team.
Yeah, he's definitely a scoring machine. When I played in Kuwait, we did a preseason in Lebanon, and we played against one of his teams at Champs. And at 50 years old, he gave us like 35. So definitely a legend. But you touched upon it right there, right? You entered the scene sort of when you were 18. So why don't we dial it back a little bit? Tell us how you got here. Tell us when you first realized, oh, you know what? Like, I'm kind of nice at this. I should do this professionally. I should take this seriously.
All right. So when I first started playing basketball when I was 4 years old. I started in Riyadh back then left immediately after 3 years to an academy called Harlem. My coach was Coach Ahmed Farran. He's still my coach until now. He's coached me since I was 8 years old. Then he moved back to Riyadh when I was 14, 15. Once I got there, I was called for the national team, and a lot of coaches were like, okay, this guy is good. This guy can do damage. This guy can do a lot of things. And this is where decided to take basketball very seriously, and I knew that I wanted basketball as my job and not only as my hobby. Stayed in Riyadh until now. Went to the under-18 national team. Performed really well with the national team. I came back to Riyadh. They were forming a very strong team, and this is where the management decided to send me second division to hoops. But at this time, they had Coach Slobodan Subotic coming in as European coaches, and European coaches, they like young kids, so he decided to keep me on the team and cut an older guy. And he gave me my chance at the beginning. He started playing me every now and then, get me in every when the game was over, gave me a couple of chances, and I was able to play more because Ali Mahmoud and Miguel Martinez were getting hurt a lot. And this is where he had to rely on me he had no other option, so he had to rely on me, and I took that as an advantage and developed my game. And the fact that I was able to be monitored by Ali, by Sum'a, Omar, Jean, and a lot of great foreigners helped me in growing my game very fast and very quickly. And I'm just enjoying basketball for now. I was able to win a lot of things until now, but still I have so many other things to accomplish as a player. I'm always hungry. I always want to do big things with my team, with my national team. And hopefully this is what I'll be doing every year.
We'll definitely dive into sort of your aspirations both on and off the court in a bit. But you mentioned, starting playing basketball at 4. Being in the Middle East, it's very difficult to get access to the NBA. But you have so much of Manu Ginobili in your game. So I'm so curious, and Sam and I spoke about this. Who are some of the role models that you watched growing up? Who do you model your game after? And at what point do you start to realize I also need to create my own identity on the court?
I always used to watch Manu Ginobili and Goran Dragic. These were my favorite players. So these are my favorite guys. And I was lucky to be called by Nicolas Batum and Rudy Gobert this past World Cup. They were like Ginobili le Libanese. So I was so happy when I heard that from them. So it got me really hyped up, and even the Canadian trainer was like, "Oh, you got some of Manu Ginobili in the game." So it was really nice to hear that from them. So these are the guys that I admired, mainly Goran Dragic more than Manu Ginobili, because I watched him since he was young with Phoenix Suns and how he went to Houston and came back to Phoenix. So he was my idol. But I still until now try to watch Manu Ginobili play because his game is amazing. His vision, his style of play is just fun to watch until now. And these are the guys I enjoy watching the most, and I learned a lot from them.
So you kind of grew up wanting to be the point guard. You wanted the ball in your hands. Growing up in the Middle East, did you have anybody you looked up to at the point guard position? Is this something that, or a coach told you, this is the position I see you fit in? I would like to know the player development aspect of it. Growing up from the ages 14 till you made it as the starting point guard for Riyadh.
Sam, you know more than me. Scoring point guards in the Middle East are not really likable. People in the coaches, mainly in the Middle East and Arab coaches, like this classical point guard where you pass the ball and wait in the corner. But this wasn't my game, and it will never be my game. So I'm a scoring point guard. Take me or leave me the way I am. This is how I enjoy playing the game, and this is how it's been working for me ever since I started. But the main 2 players that I learned a lot from them were Ali Mahmoud and Ronnie Fahad, to be honest. They were just fearless. Ronnie was this crazy shots, and Ali Mahmoud was this small body, jumping over 7-footers, getting rebounds over these big guys, knowing how to handle a lot of egos on court. He taught me a lot. He took a lot from his game to give me when I was young. I used to spend hours and hours speaking to Ali, learning from him. For him, playing with Fadi, Sum'a, Jean, 3 high caliber foreigners was not easy, and he taught me a lot of things. I learned a lot from him, and he was my mentor when I was in Riyadh. And until now, we speak a lot about some basketball stuff. He's one of my closest friends until now, and I still enjoy playing against him. I still can't believe that I'm playing against Ali Mahmoud.
I can't believe I can't believe the comeback he made. But shout out to Ali
Yeah,
Mahmoud.
he's still killing though. He's still playing. He's still nice.
One of my favorite people. One of my favorite guys to go against. And speaking of egos, I remember he was on that team when we beat Lebanon in 2009 to qualify to the World Cup. He had Jackson Broman, Brian Bashara, Matt Frigi, Fadi Al-Khatib, and Ronnie. That team was so stacked. I have no idea how he was able to contain everybody's ego in check.
Yup.
So speaking about, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was going to just say, speaking about coming back from injuries, your first major injury was when you were 21. And one of my only regrets in my basketball career is that when I got my first major injury, I didn't really handle it the right way. And I sort of digressed from that point on. So not only did you come back a better player, but you also dove into sort of the beyond the buzzer part of your life, right? Which is you started your first gym. So why don't you walk us through sort of what were the inspiration to sort of do a business outside of basketball? What were the hardest learnings, and what about it does it still excite you today?
All right, so when I first got my shoulder surgery, it was very exhausting for me to go to the physiotherapist, then go back to the gym to do strengthening. So I just randomly decided to open this in the same place, you know, physiotherapy and gym in the same place, just for people to be able to have this luxury. And I was saving. I had some money saved, and I decided to invest in my money. I had this boss mentality where I didn't want to work for anyone. I want to open my own business. I want to have my own business, and I used to watch a lot of documentaries from NBA player investing in what they do, investing in their money, saving up some money and every time they used to invest in this money. So this is what I decided to do, and this is what I'm still doing until now. You know, sometimes لا تكرهوا شيئا لعل خيرا لكم. I got injured, but yet I had time to open this business. I had time to open other businesses when I got my ACL injury. My ACL injury hit me mentally a lot because I was having a great season, and boom, I got my ACL torn. It was in a very quick. It was probably in 1 year span where I hurt my shoulder and my knee. And I went through a lot mentally. I was depressed at some point because I used to read a lot of social media, read a lot of things where, okay, this guy is done, this guy is never gonna come back, and it was tough for me. But I was able to get back on court very quick with a better game, better mentality, stronger mentality, and I still got more in. Like, I went through 3-4 surgeries in 5 years, and alhamdulillah, until now, I'm still playing, doing my thing, getting better year after year. And this is what I'm trying to, hopefully not getting injured another time, but hopefully I can develop my game year after year.
I mean, there's so much to unpack there. I think you grow up as a kid and you think professional sports is just this like walk in the park and it's fun, and no one tells you that as soon as you get injured, the same people that were cheering you on the entire time forget about you, and they toss you aside, and they have nothing they want to do with you. So what I love about what you said is that you look to NBA players that sort of demonstrated that investing can actually be a pastime that helps you build your, I guess, confidence and passions outside. But the NBA puts things in places where it's like, you know, you come in, you get these contracts, but I'm sure you have to take a couple of classes. Sam was just telling me that in Europe and the Middle East, there's none of that. There's no system in place that allows you guys, unless us, sorry, I forget sometimes that I play, to understand what to do with the money you make. How would you, if you could in an ideal world, start to build these programs in place for athletes around the Middle East and Europe?
So, sorry, again?
How would you, given what you now know, given the experience you've had building a business, how would you then say, okay, this is how we can set up a blueprint for other athletes in the Middle East to also learn that they have to be focusing on the life beyond even during their careers?
Honestly, you know, for me, I don't have the mentality. I don't have this mentality. My parents helped me a lot in having this mentality. You know, I had very loving and caring parents, and they helped me a lot in guiding me through stuff like that. You know, while you cannot spend your money immediately, you need to invest. You need to do this and that. Unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have federations that are capable of doing so with athletes. I try to guide as many young kids as I can. I try to teach them what I learned as a kid, and every time I had a young kid asking me questions, I just spend time explaining to him that your career is very quick. You might get injured. You need to make the best out of your career. and you need to invest the money that you are making from basketball. For me, clubbing and going out was not something I was really interested in, more than just building a life, building a quick empire for me so I can retire early and enjoy my life with my wife and my kids. This is the mentality I have, you know. I know that I have to sacrifice these 15 to 20 years, and then at the age of 40 I can relax having 5-6 businesses on my side. This is what I try to tell the kids, because we don't have guidance in Lebanon, and we don't have people to tell us what to do. We don't have even the older players, the older generation, not all of them did that, you know. Very few invested in their money. I could just count them on my hand. So
it's not only Lebanon though. That's the issue. I think the issue is that in the Middle East. So again, I work in venture capital, and my biggest issue is that it's not taught to fail. Like, we're not taught that it's okay to fail in life and sports and business. So when you think about what you're saying about Lebanon, man, it's relevant all over our region. No one says, listen, go try things. You're going to learn more from your failures than actually your successes.
I think it's more in the Arab world, Middle East in general. What have you done for me lately? And I'm going to forget about you. But like, they are not willing to educate you beyond the actual game. 100%. They want to use you for the game and then throw you to the wolves, and that's it. And we're done with you. You know what I mean? And I think somehow, some way, athletes today need to do their own research. They need to reach out. They need to have mentors. Wael is a great person. I think he should be a mentor for so many athletes that they can reach out to him. There's other athletes that have done a great job off the court. So I think every athlete needs a mentor. Mentors are huge in today's world. You know what I mean? They help you, they guide you, because if we're going to depend on the federations in the Middle East, we're not going to go anywhere. Because unfortunately, they come for a short period of time. They have one goal: I want to win. They have no goals of development. You know what I mean? They want to win now just so they can say, oh, when I was the president of the federation, when I was part of the federation, we won so and so. Who cares? It's about development the youth, developing who's in place now, putting the right structure. So I think it's a huge issue. Yeah. And that's one thing I noticed when I was with the G League. There's courses for these athletes that it's mandatory. They have to go and learn, you know what I mean, about how to invest their money, how to spend their money, what to do with their money.
So you guys both played in summer G League. You've had some NBA experience. Why don't you, I mean, both obviously, why don't you talk about what it's like to be, you know, one of the top players in our region and someone who is so good at the sport, but to go there and realize that there is just a different level. How can we make our players take that to the next step?
Well, I played before Wael, and nobody educated me. I had no idea what's going on. The only thing I knew is when I started making money, real estate. Let me go ahead and buy an apartment. Let me buy another one. Let me buy a land. But I had no awareness of what to do next. You know what I mean? Till I blew out my ACL. Then I started looking into the stock market. You know what I mean? How should I invest it? Before that, I had no idea. And no older players, like he told you, educated you, because they didn't know any better. Wael, you can go ahead and touch on that, jump in, because I was telling him, I had no idea. I was doing things on my own.
When I was with Mavericks, I remember they sat us down. They brought Caron Butler and Greg Oden, you know, two different players, two different careers. And Caron was just telling us how he invested in his money, how he started being a drug dealer, then came to the NBA, opened around 20 to 24 businesses. And this is what we need, you know. This is what we exactly need. As players, man, we can just help a couple of people, help the people that will talk to us, but not have. We need federations, we need organizations that lead the way for them kids, because for me, I can help 5 to 6 people, not 30 to 50. When you have for NBA players, they actually have the NBA to help them, to teach them what to do. You know, for us, we just have ourselves, we have our parents, and that's all. You know, it's just, I really learned a lot there, you know, because a lot of first round picks players were asking questions to some of the people. What are we supposed to do with our money? How are we supposed to get in contact with the people in finance? How can they help us? What are we supposed to do? So they have these people to help them. For us, we don't, you know. For us, it's just the TV, a couple of YouTube videos, and our parents to help us, you know. And when you get thrown outside the outside world, sometimes your parents can't help you a lot, you know. You'll need outsiders to come in and jump and protect you. for teams in Lebanon, I'm lucky. I'm playing in Riyadh. I have someone like Mazen Tabbara to help me. You know, as a president, he's a great president. He teaches you a lot. But for others, they don't have these loving teams and caring teams. You know, where caring presidents where they're just protective over you, trying to help you. They're just trying to get the best out of you and then get rid of you. The first second you get hurt, come on, let's go home. You know, for me, playing in Riyadh, even after getting injured, they were still there helping me, protecting me, teaching me, pushing me, and I was lucky to get this, you know, entourage around me. And the entourage is very important. You know, you need the entourage is the most important thing. You know, your circle is very important. Your friends are very important. You don't need bad friends. You know, you need friends with a vision to help you. So I have a very close circle. I pick my friends, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm still doing. Even when I'm at the peak of my career, I still want to go out with friends with vision. You know, with friends that want to succeed. You need to be surrounded by smarter people, by people that are winners and not losers, because they'll drag you down. And you never know where you might end up.
That's a nugget of information and advice for anyone listening, because quite frankly, you're a representation of the people you surround yourself with.
I agree. I mean, one thing I think he touched base, your dad and mom are very involved in your career. And I had the pleasure of meeting your dad and your mom. Great people. I love them to death. Phenomenal. Tell me a little bit more about your mom and dad. They're very well involved in your career. Tell me more. How did that help you? And do you feel that's a plus, or shwaya, sometimes it could be overbearing?
Like, I wouldn't say very involved, you know. I could say they're protective, but they let me be me, you know. They gave me my space. They supported me. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for my mom and my dad, you know. For me and for my brother, Mama, Baba gave us everything, you know. They put their dreams aside for us to reach our dreams, and I will never be able to رجع through what they did for me. So having such parents, having parents that never gave up on me and my brother is a blessing. And yeah, Sam, you know them. They're both hard workers. They really work their asses off, you know, to get to where we are right now. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be there. Alhamdulillah, you know, they're very supportive, they're very caring. They're the only people that would just stand and clap for me when I failed, you know. When everyone turned their back on me when I was injured, I still had my mom, my dad, my brother, and my wife. Back then she was my girlfriend, you know, my wife and a couple of friends that were there for me, supporting me. So having people like them is a blessing. And all I can say is Allah khalil. So they're like my king and my queen, and I don't know what I would do without them.
Yo, I agree. God bless them. They're phenomenal people. I've seen them work. I've seen them in action when I was able to work with them, do a camp in Lebanon. Phenomenal. Allah khalilak iyahum, amazing people. I want to go ahead and dive in a very, very important question before I get to my second question. Club fans and national team fans. You guys, club fans, are crazy. I'm going to use the word nasty. You guys can get really nasty. I've been at games where Suggest was playing Riyadi, and I'm talking about the language that I hear and the feistiness. It's beyond. And then I've been at games where it's a national team where the classy fans come out. What is the difference? What is going on?
I really don't know, you know. It's, you know, Sam, we're like, it's like Serbia and Turkey and these countries, you know, you see some crazy stuff. For me, it's just fun, you know. I love these atmospheres when we go play with Hakmi. I know that they say some nasty stuff, but it's not like it's all fans do that, you know. But it's just the game of basketball. I take it as motivation, and it pushes me to get better, you know. Probably the classy fans come to watch Lebanon. I would say they're the same fans, but you know, they're trying to show the best out of Lebanon right now. Everyone is watching. I don't think so. We have the same fans, just they show two different faces. When they're supporting Lebanon, they're just trying to show the best out of Lebanon, the nice side of Lebanon. When they're with their teams, they're just trying to win games, you know, they're just trying to kill the other team, other players. So Our fans are amazing, all our fans, whether they're Riyadi, Hikmi, Humentman, all type of fans, all kind of fans. They're adorable. I love them. And I enjoy playing against every single team, even though they say some dirty, some very nasty stuff. But I understand them. They just want to win basketball games and they want their team to be on top. So it is what it is. For us, it's maybe some things that are said in Lebanon are way too much in different countries. But in Lebanon, they're just okay. When I was sitting back then in Jordan with Hamirshi and Shahir, they were telling us, how the fuck would you guys say you would insult someone like that? Like, guys, in Lebanon, it's fine. This is how I greet my guy. This is how I greet my friend. In Jordan, it's really too much, but in Lebanon, it's okay. It's probably a bit different, but yeah, it is what it is.
I gotta tell you, best environment hands down. I gotta say it. But sometimes you guys do take it out of control with the shit that goes on. You know what I mean? But still, saying that, I love it. You know what I mean? But I want to dive into the next question. The beef that's going on between Lebanon and Jordan.
Yeah.
I want to know, how did it start? Because when I used to play, we had beef. Both national teams did not like each other. But it never escalated to where it escalated in Indonesia and Asian Championship. I want to know what went on, how did it escalate to that point, and where did the hate happen? I know we're talking about the fans. I don't know, did the fans started it? Players started it? Did players can control their emotions? What happened?
Honestly, from my side, I'll talk about us as Lebanese national team. We had nothing, we had nothing against the Jordanian national team, and I know the Jordanian national team had nothing against us. We were always good with each other, nice with each other. When they used to come to Lebanon, it was so nice. When we used to go to Amman, it was okay. They beat us there. We were fine with it. They came here in Lebanon. We were very fine with it. But when we got to Asia, we felt there was a tension, And from our side, when we heard this interview from a couple of Jordanian players, where
I was on that interview, by the way. I remember I was a guest on that interview.
Yeah. So when we heard that interview, we took it very personal, and we got pissed. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. And when this first incident started between Sergio and Shahir, and I know they're fine with that. We talked it out with Shahir, and Shahir is a great guy, But on court, like some players transform. I transform. A lot of other players transform. So he got in a very quick fight with Sergio, and this is where things got escalated. And what happened between me and Ahmed is unfortunate, to be honest. We said some very unnecessary stuff to each other, and we had to fight back in the hotel, and things got escalated very, very fast. Unfortunately, it's not something I really like talking about, because I don't like things like this to happen between two Arab countries, between two Arab national teams. But it happened, and we spoke about it, and we broke the ice. And they're always welcome to come to Lebanon, and I know we're always going to be welcome to come to Amman. Both teams were just trying to win a basketball game for our countries. We knew it was just it was a do or die, and it went beyond limits, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We both learned from it, and we move on. That's it. This is basically it.
So the only thing I was ever gonna say about that is, like, Sam can tell you, I talk so much trash when I play sports, especially basketball. I think it's a huge part of the game. Before we started recording, you and I were speaking about how that's missing from the Kuwaiti League, right? And we'll get into that in a little bit. But for me, what's always very important about representing our region internationally is that we can't ever show them that there's feuds between countries. So to hear you say that and to hear you be so candid about it is great. I appreciate you opening up about it and being so honest about it. One of the things I want to unpack more, going back into the basketball side of things, is you said something on the Jaded podcast. Great show, by the way. He asked great questions. One of the things that's really difficult is that as Arab players, we can't really play in other leagues around the Middle East or around the world. That's the only reason I'm not playing pro right now, right? Obviously, I've made the decision to focus on my career outside. I've got a higher ceiling there. I'm happy to admit that. But I still love the game. I'm 29. I'm 2 weeks older than you. I should still be in my physical prime. I have nowhere to play right now. 'Cause I don't want to go back and live in Kuwait. It's not very good for what I'm doing full time. So what's it like for you to also see, like, you know, you're now the captain of Lebanon. You play in the World Cup. You played against the best players. You've also played in the Summer League. You know that there's another level that we need to unlock to get to that level. How can we sort of inspire and motivate these federations to open up? It's for me, honestly, excuse my French, it's fucking bullshit.
I agree. Somehow,
honestly, it's a hopeless case. You know, I think it's a hopeless case with these federations. Not gonna lie. Probably, I'm lucky to play in Lebanon. We have a federation that actually have a decent league, but you know, looking at the Jordanian league is very sad. You know, when I see players like Freddy, all these great players not having a proper league, it's really unfair for them. You know, and I wish all these Arab federations would sit together and find a solution. You know, find something to allow players to play in different leagues. You know, personally, with my agent, we sent an email for the Japanese, Korean, Australian, and New Zealand national federations to allow an Arab player to play in their leagues, because we see they have this Asian rule, yet Arab countries are not in this Asian rule. You know, but why not Arab federations, Arab like Middle Eastern federations allow this Arab rule where they can bring in, where like Jordanian teams can bring in a Lebanese player and vice versa, Jordanian players can come and play in Lebanon.
So how are you able to play in Kuwait for that season? How did that work out for 1 year?
Played as an import.
Oh, you didn't play
As an import. Yeah, I played as an import, as an American import, you know. And
the only team that has tried it so far, I mean, the only country was Saudi Arabia. I think it was 2 years ago, right? Well, 2 years ago, they did it for 1 year. And that's when Freddie went, Hashim Abbas went.
Yes. They went and played there, and then they immediately stopped it. So
You're into it. They cut it off. It's beyond.
I don't know why they did that. Honestly, in our last meeting with the federation as players, we asked why not having 2 Lebanese players, 2 Americans, and 1 Arab player. But I'm not sure what actually happened with our federation. You know, they're trying to. I hope something like that works, you know. And but I believe if not all Arab federations are gonna try and put in and help each other, I don't think we're gonna get to a solution where where the game of basketball we get to another level in the Middle East. You know, for us, we're gonna compete in Asia. Okay, we're gonna win a couple of games in Asia, but getting there and competing with the European teams is never gonna happen. You know. Maybe you will get a win or 2 every World Cup, and I would say it won't happen like every day, you know. But not every day we might get a close game with France. Not every day we might get a close game with Greece. Not every game we might get a close game with Spain. You know, we might get 1 win in 20 games, but we need to get to a point where we can at least compete with these teams for 2-3 quarters and not get blown out like at halftime. So I don't know what can be done, what should be done, but we need to find a way to elevate and make the level of leagues in the Middle East better.
Look, I know if we're going to depend on the federations, we'll probably got to wait a long time.
Yeah.
But now that we have WLeague, the WLeague should take that first step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a WLeague.
WLeague stands for West Asia
Super League, and then they gotta allow it where, hey, you guys can mix like Europe, Bosman players. Yeah. If they allow it, Arab Federation gotta follow. Yeah. Because now these go ahead.
You know, Sam, I said something to one of the West Asian Super League committee. I was like, you guys need to start mixing Gulf countries with Middle East countries in a way where Lebanese teams should be in the group with Saudi Arabian teams, Kuwaiti teams. They were like, well, we would love to, but you know, security-wise, it's gonna be hard for us, you know. This tension, and in a way or another, I understand them, you know, getting visas for Iraqi players, for Syrian players, for Lebanese players is very hard, you know. This is a political thing more than just basketball thing, and it's beyond our powers, you know. And
there's
like nothing
tournament all in one location, so that there's no in and out like that. I'm just trying to think out loud because for me it's frustrating. Like I watched every game of Wasl. I saw my Kuwaitis beat Beiruti in the semifinals. So no, but it's just for me. It's like my opportunity playing pro was so exciting, but I actually came at a time before they allowed foreign players. So I allowed when we went and played in the Arab Championship in Morocco.
Right.
We played with some foreign players. I played with Cedric Simmons, former NBA player, 15th pick in the draft,
Right.
great guy. And that instantly elevated the level.
Right.
Instantly, right?
Like right now, Arab Championship coming up. They're allowing one Arab player per team. Correct, Wael? Correct me if I'm wrong. In the Arab Championship coming up.
Yep. They are.
One Arab player per team. Plus 2 imports.
So that my issue is that it's like in every facet of our life in the Middle East, we take one step back and then we take 7 backward. Sorry, 1 step forward and then 7 backwards. It's like you really want to compete on the major level. You got players like Wael who dedicate their life to the sport,
Right.
players who play at a high level. But like you said, you go to the World Cup and it's almost like you try and maintain this positive attitude, even if you know the chances of you winning are so slim.
I don't know. You know, when I play against Latvia and Canada, I was like, whoa. You know, there. You know, it was like Lebanese fans thought we weren't fighting enough, but it's just we were. But it wasn't showing, you know. It was very hard. Their level is extremely high, man, and it was tough to play against them.
Off script, actually, can I just ask you quickly, what's it like guarding Shea?
I didn't guard him. I guarded RJ better, to be honest.
Not much better, to be honest.
I wouldn't say he's very skilled, but he's just very strong.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he's super strong.
Yeah.
But Shea is on a totally different level than all of them. So
I agree.
he's unbelievable.
I mean, they just beat the U.S. in the 3rd, 4th place game. They just beat the U.S. in the 3rd, 4th place game, didn't they?
Yep.
Sam just spoke to me. I was like, Sam, we're gonna have to push the interview for another 15 minutes. I want to see what's gonna happen with the game. So
my Houston boy Dylan Brooks dropping 39. That's crazy.
with all the hate that he's been getting, that's impressive, to be honest.
Right. Well, I have a question. What's going on with you off the court as of late? Like, are you still looking for more opportunities? Are you still open to trying new ventures and things like that? Or you're more right now focused just on your basketball career as you're in your prime?
You mean business-wise or just
Business-wise,
leaving
yes.
the country? Huh?
Yeah, business-wise.
For now, I'm looking into a couple of opportunities business-wise. I'm renovating my gym, my rehab center, switching the name to the Revive Hub, and I have this small business in Barcelona with my brother. So we're looking into opening. We're looking into opening another business for now. In terms of basketball, I wish I could just go and try to play in Europe or try to play in Japan or Korea, try to explore this option. But for now, you know, I want to be smart about where I go. I'm not young anymore. I have a very good contract in Riyadh in Lebanon, and the league in Lebanon is good. You know, we have a lot of international championships where I can just go play and enjoy my time. But I always have this dream of just, you know, playing in high-level competition somewhere other than Lebanon. But my passport has always been the problem. There's nothing much I can do about it. You know, we've tried so many things with my agents, Mohamed Labida and Pascal, and yet we get rejected almost every time. They tell us, okay, he's a great player, he's a great guy, but the passport thing is a problem. You know, to get him a visa, to get him you know, if I want to go play somewhere, you know, in ABA League or something, they travel a lot. They jump from one country to another, one European country to another. And for me to get a visa every time is going to be impossible. So they'd rather invest in an American player or a European player than invest in a Middle Eastern player where they're going to have to do a lot of paperwork for him. So it is what it is for now. I'm in Riyadh for another 2 years, ready to win another championship.
Right?
Oh, Sunny, I saw him 2 days ago. I'm so happy Sunny's with us.
My boy, baby.
Fantastic
Yeah,
guy.
great guy.
Deserves the best. He's a great guy. He's one of the biggest hard workers I've met. I'm so happy for him. And inshallah, now his wife Ruby is delivering his second baby. Allah yarzuqhu, inshallah. خلقة كاملة بإذن Allah. So I'm excited to play with him this year, and excited for, inshallah, a great season with my team.
So as we wrap up, one of the things that, again, makes you such a good guest here is your balance between sports and life. What does success look like for you when you think about your life after the game? Do you have goals? Do you want to pursue? Do you want to take singing seriously? I actually heard your recording. You're pretty fucking good.
Are you gonna sing a song real quick? I've been hearing so much about your singing.
I'm very sick. It's gonna be hard for me to sing. You know, I have to perform well in front of the fans. So I'm not gonna. I'm still at the beginning of my career. I can't mess it up. You know, I need my singing game.
Can we sign you instead of a basketball player to come to Jordan to perform rather than a player? Since we don't have a league in Jordan, might as well bring you out here as a singer.
Silawi, man. I have to come sing.
No, but tell us. You know, when you think about? You said it yourself. You know, you're doing this because you want to retire with your wife and you want to enjoy your life. So what does success look like for you? And how do you think you can get there? What kind of message can you send to other people who will be open listening to this podcast?
You know, I try not to think about success, man. This is, alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from God. I'm always hungry, you know, I'm always hungry for more. So for now, I'm just already thinking about coming back from New York and play with my team. I'm just excited for another year, you know. If you want to think about, okay, I've done a lot of things in my career, I've succeeded, I've gotten to the top, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to just free fall down. So you can't think this way, you know. I always have to be hungry. I'm still 29 years old. I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm in the middle. So I have 4 point guards between the age of 28 to 33 is their peak. So I'm at the beginning of my peak. And I just want to do more and more, you know. I want to win more things for my team. I want to do more things for my country and just focus on my basketball career. And I have my people running my businesses. I just don't want to get caught up in business and forget about my main passion, which is basketball. So I have the right people running my businesses. I have the right partners to do so. And I just want to enjoy my next 6-7 years of basketball until I retire. And after that, my main goal is to open an academy where I can develop kids. I can guide kids into becoming professionals. And
you got a role model right here, man. Sam, literally, I mean, maybe you'll hear on one of our other episodes my story to playing pro. I hadn't played in like 5 years. I thought I was done. I moved to Jordan for work. I met Sam, and within like 3 or 4 months, he got me ready to go sign that contract in Kuwait. So perfect role model for you right here with the academy.
Of course, man. Sam is one of the best point guards that ever came to ever played in Asia, and I always I have him followed on Instagram, and just seeing him teach some players, some young players is very fun and exciting. You know, we spoke a lot of times where I just want to come to Jordan, and it never happened, just to train for him for a week or two. I think he's gonna jump. He's gonna have to come to Lebanon. You know, I believe it's more fun. So we'll have more fun here in Lebanon.
I don't know, if you come to Jordan, I'm gonna hoop with you, and I'm gonna wear my Nadia Kuwait jersey the entire time. So.
Especially now, you and Sonny on the same team. I think I will make that trip and come.
I just want to do this. It's my small academy where I pick the kids that I want to work with. You know, I want to just have these elite players training hard, guide them, teach them how to succeed in life before succeeding in basketball. You know. You just have to. You need to be a great person, I want to be a great father, a great son, a great brother, and a great friend before being a great basketball player. This is very important. You know, basketball is just my part-time job, and being a good husband and a good son is my full-time job. So this is my goal, and this is what every single athlete needs to think about. You know.
And I think that's the perfect note to end on, right? That's the goal here, right? So the sport teaches you so much, but ultimately, as you said, it's secondary to being a good person. When Sam told me that you were interested in doing this, we were both so excited. We think you embody exactly what it means to be on this show. So honestly, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Sam, tell them what they got to do one more time.
Make sure you guys follow us on Beyond the Buzzer, Pod 13, Instagram, YouTube, and all the podcast applications.